We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for everyone.
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And the person believed to be Charlie Kirk's murderer has been apprehended, arrested. He was turned in by his father, who's a pastor in Utah. He himself, his name is Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, the son of a pastor, confessed to his father, and his father turned him in. Son of a pastor, what can we extrapolate from that, YouTube? More than likely, he was radicalized at church as well as online. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was more than likely radicalized at church as well as online. Utah, well, we'll forget the Mormon stuff for now because, quite frankly, we know that is the most radical church in America, unless they're the ones holding and handling snakes in the Appalachians somewhere. The Mormons, the most racist, radical church there is. But I don't know if this guy was a Mormon or not. I know he was a son of a pastor, and his pastor father turned him in. Now, what's even more interesting is these words. When I say the person believed to be Charlie Kirk's murderer, that line itself is interesting. Do you know why, YouTube? Because supposedly there's a website out there called Charlie Kirk's Murderers. Uh-huh. Can you guess who's on there? Oh, not this guy. No, not his murderer. No. In the deep psychosis that is the right wing, that website has nothing but left-wing commentators and influencers. Isn't it interesting, YouTube? Wow. Charlie Kirk's murderers. Everybody who has something bad to say about him. Or Trump. Tell me, does that include Laura Loomer?
Laura Loomer tweeted, I don't ever want to hear at Charlie Kirk 11 claim that he is pro-Trump ever again. After this weekend, I'd say he has revealed himself as a political opportunist, and I have had a front row seat to witness the mental gymnastics these last 10 years. Lately, Charlie has decided to behave like a charlatan, claiming to be pro-Trump one day while he stabs Trump in the back the next. Turning Point USA was only able to thrive thanks to the generosity of President Trump. On the one-year anniversary assassination attempt on Trump's life, Charlie hosted at comic Dave Smith at Turning Point USA's SAS conference, where Dave Smith was able to speak to a bunch of conservative youth at an organization that claims to be pro-Trump. So here she is calling him out. She attaches a clip. This is 2 days before she says that Kirk stabbed Trump in the back.
She's not on CharlieKirk'sMurderers.com. She's not on there. It seems to me like these disgusting creatures, these filthy fucking animals that have lost their mind and descended into a complete state of ongoing psychosis will find any excuse to be as violent as possible, take all the money from the poorest people that believe in them, and send them out toothless and gun-filled on everything that is stopping them from gaining complete and total power over everything. You're complicit in that if you're a MAGA sycophant. If you vote for the Republican Party, you're complicit in that right now. There is no moderate. Doesn't exist. If you're a moderate, you're a liar to yourself, because this is who you prop up. Now, let me tell you why this psychosis exists on the right. This morning, your president Cankle's 2 cans of spray tan Sam went on Fox News and said this.
Talking about lying on Fox News about inflation. And yesterday, you guys, an inflation report came out, month of August, inflation rising. Here's Kank's response to that.
The worst thing that happened to this country, because I've already solved inflation, costs are down. Look at energy costs. You're going to have $2 gasoline pretty soon. I've solved just about every problem. The worst thing that happened to our country is when we let 25 million people in, many of which, and I say 80%, should not be in our country. They emptied their prisons into our country.
Okay, and then they say that the left, their argument is the left incites violence. He is saying that 80% of the immigrant population have been released from prisons. This is really nasty rhetoric that causes hate crimes.
That would give you psychosis. When you go to the grocery store and you see the prices are up, when you go anywhere and see the prices are up, but your God tells you that you have to believe this, what he said, you get psychosis. You can't reconcile fact from fiction. And in a constant state that's been going on since before Trump and happening on that same station, people who watch Fox News for the past 30 years have been going into a constant state of psychosis on purpose, brought to them by Rupert Murdoch for the exact purpose of what happened Wednesday and what's happening now on CharlieKirk'sMurderers.com. They're batshit crazy because they have been on purpose. Tyler Robinson, on purpose, has been led into a state of psychosis, of not knowing where the line between fiction and fact draws. They can't think. They can't see. The same person, you take them out of this insane asylum with an R by its name, and you just put them somewhere else for 2 weeks and watch their eyes open up. They're behind a haze of violence. They're on their knees drooling because reality has broken. Let me inject some reality. You want to know who Charlie Kirk's murderers are? Since you can't believe it's the murderer, you want to know who they are? The same guy who says this.
Advanced drones over Poland, okay? And here's what Trump has to say about his BFF, Vladimir Putin.
We're going to fix this system.
What are you going to do about President Putin? Because we just saw these drones in Poland.
Yeah, well,
More
Poland
sanctions?
thing, I'm not going to defend anybody, but the Poland, they were actually knocked down and they fell into an area. But he shouldn't be close to Poland anyway.
Right.
So I solved, as you know, 7 wars. 7. I did so many, including Pakistan and India, but
okay,
big ones.
This is an insane person. This is insanity. This is a very serious aggression by Vladimir Putin to a NATO country. And he doesn't give a shit because
The same station who says this.
The media and all these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now.
He followed up his remarks with this.
We're angry and we're resolute. And we're going to avenge Charlie's death in the way Charlie would want it to be avenged.
The same station who says this.
Meanwhile, MSNBC is being skewered for analyst Matthew Dowd's comments. Here are those words.
Saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Now, Dowd has since been let go from the network, and MSNBC has issued an apology.
You gotta be kidding me, MSNBC? The guy who told a lie and who said we need to avenge his death is still on that network, and you fired the guy who told the truth about the violent rhetoric leading to violent actions? You fucking weak sauce, chicken shit. You're the reason, MSNBC, because there is no counter. What the fuck is that? You fired the guy who told the truth while the other person who's inciting violence still gets to be on air. What is wrong with you? And the same grifters who say this.
Lately, Charlie has decided to behave like a charlatan, claiming to be pro-Trump one day while he stabs Trump in the back the next.
And then the week after, say this.
That's cool. Okay, so then she puts up a tweet then calling for violence, basically. You know, we're at civil war. I'm going to make a list of everybody, of every left-wing influencer and commentator who has spoken poorly about Charlie Kirk. Meanwhile, that was 2 days prior.
The Republican Party is an insane asylum. Worse than that, the Republican Party is Joker's version of the insane asylum at Gotham, where he is purposefully turning people crazy, making sure that they don't have any defense against it by not educating them to truth, history, travel, reality, art, culture, anything. Keeping their heads in a Bible written 1,000 years before the light bulb, and convincing them that what they see isn't true. Convincing them that the guy who says, I won 7 wars, and all the people who he supposedly helped out are on the phone and on TV saying, you didn't do anything. Convincing you that prices aren't up. You're crazy. And if you don't believe me, you're going to hell. That brings on psychosis. You want to know who Charlie Kirk's murderers are? Young Tyler here, at the age of 22, has been radicalized by his church, as well as the internet. And his father turned him in after he was the one who turned him in to what he is today. Tomorrow we fight. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind, the kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.